enemies to lovers is truly disgusting to me. The idea of somebody needing me and saying, oh my god, I hate you so much, but I need you. Back up. Run for your life, actually. Don't, actually, that might actually make me... Hi, unis. I always start off this, my first part of my video, always like so quiet. But we're talking about something that just recently started to irritate me. And it's enemies to lovers. I don't like it. I've always liked the idea of friends to lovers. Now, I'm not bashing anybody who likes enemies to lovers because I do understand the appeal. I understand that people do like, maybe there's some other things I don't know about enemies to lovers that y'all like that isn't what I think it is and what I'm about to say, which I can understand where the appeal comes from. I can understand why people like enemies to lovers because it's the fact and the idea of that somebody could love you despite all of the like horrible, messy, ugly parts of you. I understand that appeal. Usually in the society we live in, no matter if it's family, a significant other, or a friend, not everybody is gonna see those messy parts and love you still. I can definitely, you know what, a lot of people just deserve to be loved and there's not enough love in the world, right? I don't know how I was trying to articulate that part, but like, I can understand the appeal of that. Somebody truly loving you for all that you are, even the ugly, messy parts, it makes sense. But to a certain extent. Now, we're going to get into the parts I genuinely hate. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I was talking to myself about this. And I'm really still just talking to myself about this when I'm saying this. But enemies to lovers is so... I get it. Enemies to lovers is dark romance. I know what I'm signing up for when I read enemies to lovers. And I realize as I've grown as a person, even though I never really liked it to begin with anyways, I could tolerate it back then. But since it's been like a couple of years, I'd say like 3, almost 4 years probably. And as I've grown as a person, like I was trying to say, it just doesn't make sense to me. You're telling me there's 2 people, 2 girls, 2 boys, a boy and a girl, 2 people who hate each other. And then all of a sudden, y'all like each other, y'all can love each other and look past y'all obvious differences, which I get it. People can have differences, but if y'all have just that much differences that y'all like really hate each other, how the hell are y'all going to work? Truly, how are y'all going to work? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And another thing I don't like about enemies to lovers, again, I know it's dark romance. But tell me one enemies to lovers where the 2 people, not only do they hate each other, but tell me one enemies to lovers, I could be wrong, where they don't internally hate themselves. And I get it, enemies to lovers can be a fun read because tension and amongst like other things, but why is the lighting doing that? What kind of like cancels that out is like, you can still have tension without having to write to people who literally despise each other's existence. They wake up every day wanting to kill each other. How the fuck is that going to work long term? And not only that, it's like when it comes to enemies to lovers, again, going back to what I was saying before, it's toxic. And not only that, going back to my other one, you guys also low-key hate yourselves while hating each other. Because not only do you hate what this person stands for, but you can also hate what this person represents in you. Now, if you are the type of person who thinks this way, you understand that how the way your internal world is, it reflects out in your world. It reflects out there with you. Not only in your environment around you and you as a person, but people you meet in life. And when you internally hate yourself and then you meet somebody who also hates you but hates themselves too while you hate them, it's like, you guys get what I'm getting at? Do I get what I'm getting at? Yes, because I understand myself, but like, I don't like that. And then I don't like the whole idea of like, okay, say the enemies to lovers finally get to that part where they start loving each other and getting all ravenous and crazy. Can you really even call that love? To me, you can't, because there's no way y'all actually love each other. Because again, we're going back to that point of two people not only hating each other but hating themselves and projecting that self-hatred, self-loathing onto that other person. You're not only are you like so internally messed up within yourself, but you feeling that way internally. Damn. You feeling that way internally. Now you're looking outward instead of inward for things that you can find within yourself. Now, I'm not saying you as a person, you can fulfill your every need. Like, say you want somebody to touch you, but you can only touch yourself. You can only fulfill this need for so long. And I know what that feels like. But it's like, and that's not even just for enemies to lovers. This is for real life, but also for books and for being realistic. And I'm not type of, I love fantasy. So I'm the last person who should be talking about realism, but like when you really think about enemies to lovers and people are like, oh, I wish I had an enemies to lovers. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know how toxic that is? This is like two unhealed people coming together. Mind you, I know what that's like. There's like two unhealed people coming together and just thinking that intensity, mistaking that intensity for intimacy. And intimacy is not that type of intensity of toxic intensity. And toxic intensity is different from actual, real, genuine intimacy. And I'm not saying that I've experienced that with someone before, but if you're someone who has done like your inner work and deeply understand yourself and know what you want, you would probably understand it to some extent. Not only as a writer, but as someone who's deeply in tune with themselves, okay? And secure within themselves. Personally, me, I don't like the idea of enemies to lovers, because it's like, again, going back to that, looking for that external validation and putting all that validation onto that person. The moment y'all break up, the moment y'all don't last, for enemies to lovers, everything goes downhill. You spiral downward. Your external source of validation is gone. So now you're crumbling internally and externally, and it's just like a terrible feeling, because you got that validation from that certain person. Instead of being secure within yourself and validating yourself, now you don't have that external source anymore. So now your self-worth is down. Your self-respect is down. You're still looking for that external validation when you can just do it yourself. You can just do it yourself, babes. You can just do it yourself. You can just do it yourself. That's another thing about enemies to lovers. They don't truly love themselves. So they're looking for it elsewhere. They're looking for somebody else to love them as they are. And then majority of the time, it's without the consequences or the accountability. Somebody can literally like murder somebody in the book, and they're like, you know what? You did this morally wrong thing, right? I still love you anyways. Did they take accountability for it? Did they meet themselves? Did they do any work on themselves? No, they didn't. It's just so toxic. It's just a terrible place to be, because how do you see that working long term? How do you see that? How is that romantic? And I know the whole dark romance genre is like has always had these discourses of talking about like how dark romance is literally like romanticizing a lot of terrible things like abuse, and romanticizing just romanticizing everything that's bad. Like, my thoughts are all everywhere with this, but this is just how it is when I'm talking to myself, okay? Like, I was talking to myself about this even before I thought it would be a cool thing to like talk about, to post. Because maybe there's some people out there who also feel the same way about enemies to lovers. Like, enemies to lovers should not have the amount of hype that it has. But you know what? It makes a lot of sense. Because a lot of people might like it just for the fun of it. But some people might also just like it because they're also going through things internally that needs healing. Enemies to lovers is truly disgusting to me. The idea of somebody needing me and saying, oh my god, I hate you so much, but I need you. Back up. Run for your life, actually. Don't. Actually, that might actually make me... No, it's so dumb. Like, it's so disgusting. Like, the idea of somebody calling me theirs, saying, "You're mine. You're mine."
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No, I'm not. Saying that they need me. You don't need me. Stop saying that. That's so ill. That's so disgusting. It just seems desperate. Like, enemies to lovers just seem desperate. Because not only that, you're also clinging to somebody in such an unhealthy way to validate not only your existence, but literally everything else about yourself, because you refuse to do that yourself. Or do that inner healing and that inner work to not only heal as a person and grow as a person, but like... And I don't know if anybody else gets the ick when people say stuff like that, saying they need me. You don't need me. Okay, you need to be secure within yourself. Like, how about that? Let's be secure within ourselves. You don't need anybody but yourself, because say that said person dies or goes away, then what? Who are you gonna have at the end of the day when it's just you? Like, say everything just ends tomorrow. Like, who are you gonna have? Yourself. You gotta be able to sit with yourself. You gotta be able to confront yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself. Like, like, you would never catch me as a writer writing an enemies to lovers. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. That's not me. Not only is it not me, but that's like willingly writing a toxic, justifying a toxic relationship and letting it continue. You're karmic and you guys need to stop and you guys need some help. And I mean by help as in you. Help yourself. That's another thing about enemies to lovers. You're looking for somebody else to help you, to justify you. Like, I just said that, but like, you're looking for somebody to help you. It's so stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Now, I'm not saying that friends to lovers doesn't have its flaws, right? Because you got some obsessive friends. You got friends who can be toxic. You got you know, in real life. Not only just in fiction, in real life. You have friends to lovers things that just don't go right. Besides just the casual stuff that we usually see in movies, TV shows, books, whatever. You have some friends who are like genuinely shitty people and also operating on that same, what's the name? They low-key do not like themselves. So I'm not saying that enemies to lovers not enemies to lovers. They have their obvious flaws. More flaws than any good, in my opinion. But friends to lovers, if we're talking about that, friends to lovers has the potential of being... People act like with friends to lovers, a friend can't see you for all that you are. People have friends who have been with them all their life, who have seen them change as a person, grow as a person, and evolve as a person. And some friends aren't always honest about what happened in their relationships or in other friendships, and some are. And when some are, they are their honest, true selves around them, and they're like, hey, I was this way in this relationship. You know, again, being able to see that toxic part. There's some friends who've seen their friends who've been depressed. Again, seeing those ugly, messy parts of themselves, especially if you're if you feel very safe around this person. And friends to lovers gives y'all that same satisfaction of somebody loving you for all that you are, because there is some friends genuinely out there, even some family, who still love you for all that you are, through your mistakes, through your changes, through your phases, through the bad that you did, or how the way you've acted, especially if you're actively changing and try to become a better person, you know. Friends can also see those messy, ugly, dirty parts of you if you allow them to, and if you guys are really close and safe like that. Friends to lovers can do that too. So why do we need the extra hatred? Why do I need to wake up every day and be like, I hope I killed that stupid son of a bitch? Why are they existing and breathing the same air as me? They need to die. Like, how about we just call the cops? Let's go do that. You need some help? Help. Yes. This one over here? Mm-hmm. Yes. They think it's okay to just wake up and want to kill someone. But they just met. Yeah. I don't like it. The way I articulated it when I was like just talking to myself, I'm always talking to myself. I'm my own best friend. I enjoy having conversations with myself because it's fun. This is it. This is also still me just talking to myself because let's be for real. But like when I was talking about it with myself, it's just like I'm reading this book right now by this black Ethiopian author, and it's a black vampire book, and I feel like I miss I want more black fantasy books. And don't get me wrong, I have the first book in there, and I love those two books, both Eternal Ruin and Immortal Dark. But I'm just not reading it. Again, as I've grown as a person, I can't. Not only am I like very sensitive to like certain words, like just thinking about it is making me feel weird already. Blood, ketchup. I can't sit through it. It's too much. If you guys didn't watch my other video, it's Omni's dictionary. The first word being slobby. And I get slobby too quick, and it's a lot more intense now than it was back then. Even when I was younger, it was there, but it wasn't as intense until I got like increasingly older. So it was intense then, and then it dulled a little bit, but it was still there, and it's still strong. But now it's a lot more stronger now that I am the way that I am. This video is gonna be like 19 minutes. You guys will also come to realize I wear my pajamas a lot, so that's all I wanted to say. I think I got all my thoughts out. I was talking to myself about it already, so a lot of what I said, I've already got it out before I even thought about recording, so I just thought it'd be a good thing to talk about. Because yap videos are really fun to make and edit, because it's like, I'm really funny. But yeah, no. Friends to Lovers is really cute. And you guys will come to realize when I release a lot of my stories that I like to write Friends to Lovers a lot. Yeah. And even though some people might think Friends to Lovers can be boring, you can still add all those little cute little spicy things you like to add in Friends to Lovers. Minus the hate. You don't need to hate anybody. You don't. Okay, let's not do that. There's enough hate in the world all as it is. Like, I think I'm done. Yeah, it's a fun little video. Don't expect me to be professional about it. I'm just yapping. I'm just getting my thoughts out, even though I already got majority of my thoughts out before I even thought about recording. Yeah. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that.